Welcome to the Well Woman Show, where we interview women executives, leaders, and entrepreneurs.
And you're listening to the Well Woman Show,
where motivated women achieve fulfillment and well-being.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
Take time for myself by coming to things like Well Woman Drinks.
To be accepting of myself no matter what. Step away from judgment as much as possible.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're going to be in for a good ride. I don't regret anything. Everything I've ever done, I've learned from it, one way or another, good or bad.
Being a little bit selfish for yourself, put your own oxygen mask on first and then give what's left.
I'm a woman. I would prefer to tell my own story. My story, though it's very personal, is universal.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show. And now your host, Giovanna Rossi.
Hi, Giovanna Rossi here, and welcome to another episode of the Well Woman Show, where I interview women leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs about their lives and their road to becoming and being who they are today. If you've ever had one of those days where you find yourself overwhelmed with your responsibilities and it seems like you'll never get it all done, this is the show for you. And you're not alone. We all need to remember to use our superpowers, the ones we already have but we don't use all the time. And we need to take advice and wisdom from one another. Toward the end of the show, in a segment called Superpowers for Success, I ask my guest about her superpowers, and the answers will give you strength, perspective, and the power to keep on being the well woman you are. I'm so happy you're here, so thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is maintaining your identity and independence, and hopefully by the end of the show, you'll be inspired to assert your independence, develop motivation to achieve your health and fitness goals, and remember your sense of individual identity. My guest today is Monica Bencomo, mom of two, founder of lifestyle brand and blog Moms Wear Heels, author of 7 Habits of a Healthy, Happy Mom, and co-owner of Pasión Latin Fusion Restaurant in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Today I talk with Monica about her physical and emotional transformation, becoming a mother and starting her business, developing a social media following, and maintaining her independence while being a mother. The free giveaway today is her tips to help you succeed. I love this worksheet because it presents 6 clear steps you can take right away to boost your success. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor today, Leafy Greens. They provide seasonal cleanses and nutrition consultations, and I love them. Leah is the owner, and she does an awesome 21-day cleanse. And you can visit wellwomanlife.com/leafygreens to sign up for the cleanse and receive a special Well Woman discount. Now to my interview with Monica Bencomo. Okay, I'm speaking with Monica Bencomo this morning. Welcome to the program, Monica.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Monica, tell me a little bit about what you're working on and how it impacts women's lives and well-being.
How it impacts women's lives and well-being. Well, first, I have a blog. It's called momswearheels.com. It's also my lifestyle brand. And essentially what I created it for was so that women can have a resource to go to online for inspiration and for a sense of community. And it turned out to be more about fitness and health and all that fun stuff because women really wanted that from my site. But it's really fun. It's just a place for inspiration, health, wellness, and all that encompasses being a mom who wears heels.
So it's specifically for moms, right?
It is, but I also attract women who are ready to begin trying to conceive sometime in the near future. So I'd say the ages range from about, 22 to 35, mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the wear heels part of it?
That's a good question.
What's that all about?
So Moms Wear Heels. It's funny because right after I had my son, my firstborn, about 3.5 years ago, this idea just popped into my head, and that was Moms Wear Heels. And I was like, what the heck is that? So I kind of like to think of it as just like divine inspiration, where you just kind of get an idea and you just want to run with it. Yeah. So I went online, I saw if the URL was there, and it was. And I didn't really know what it was going to be. But once I started the blog and once I kind of did some soul searching as to what I needed after becoming a mom, I realized that Moms Wear Heels is more about the mom finding some idea of balance after becoming a parent, not letting go of her dreams, not letting go of her old identity, but finding a way to kind of merge the new version of herself as a mom with the version of herself that she already was. Yeah. And keeping her sexy if she still wants to do that too. Yeah.
I like it. I think as moms, we do go through this sort of almost an identity crisis.
No, totally. I'm still going through an identity crisis because my youngest she just turned 8 months, like I was telling you, and it completely changes everything with a woman physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally to give birth. Yeah. So especially if you're really ambitious as a woman, bringing children into the picture can, create kind of an influx of emotions where you're trying to figure out how you're going to balance both those roles. Yeah. Being a career woman with also being a mom. But that's what being a mom who wears heels, that's what that's all about to me, is just trying to find a way to have it all.
And I love
in your terms.
Yeah, I know. It's like, let's have it all here. Yeah. And it's hard to have it all because it's a big balancing act or juggling act, right? Yeah. When one ball is up in the air, you've got another one in your hand.
Exactly.
But I love the heels part of it too because it brings in the sexy, imagery of what we also want as women.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I think it's funny because when I look back after having my son, I was only 26 years old. And I was a professional dancer and I was on stage and that was how I connected to my inner goddess each week when I would go and perform in these little cute costumes and stuff. So after having my son, I was still about 30 pounds overweight. And I just was like, what am I going to do with my life? And I had this looming fear of like being a mom in loafers and baggy jeans. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready. Happening. So that's moms wear heels is a metaphor, but it's also to be taken literally because moms, we can still wear our heels. I can still wear my heels and push my stroller, if I'm up to do that day. So I'm big on moms not letting go of their sexy side because at the end of the day, we have to keep our husbands happy too and ourselves most importantly. And that's what I like about your brand is I feel like it's reminding women that it's okay to be selfish in a good way because we're always made to feel so guilty for doing that when ironically we're better moms when we take that time to do what our soul needs for the day. Right. So, yeah.
Well, and Monica, I often say that we create the things we need in our lives.
Yes.
Or we teach what we need to learn.
Yes.
It's sort of that, it's like, I'm going to engage in this because I need it, and I'm going to put it out there to the world because I need to do it.
Yes, exactly.
And other people, respond to it too.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's what you're doing with Moms Wear Heels.
Totally. I wanted a community and I just figured it was not best, but I was kind of called to create what I was looking for. Because I remember just going on Google and just searching for just random keywords. And I'm like, I needed some inspiration to just kind of recreate a new vision for my life. Because again, childhood changed me in so many ways that I wasn't really prepared for. I don't think anybody can prepare you for what childbirth does to you. And my question for you is, your kids are a little bit older. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Is what would your advice be for someone with a little one at home? Because my youngest is, like I said, she's still under a year old, who's still trying to find her identity back and trying to find a way to kind of balance it all. What would you say to me or anyone else?
Yeah, well, I was there just a couple of years ago. My kids are 4 and 7. Mm-hmm. So, when I had a toddler and I was trying to have another one. Mm-hmm. And it was at that point that I actually quit my job and started my own business.
Nice.
Because I just couldn't see doing what I was doing and having another baby while working for somebody else.
Got it.
So that was the way that started. But then once I did it and the business took off, it was like immediately, I was just busy and lots of work. I actually had a nanny.
Nice.
In my house. So So the baby, so I was around. I worked from home. I was around.
Yeah.
And I could breastfeed when I needed
That's
to.
Smart.
But I had someone there playing with her,
and you could still be there and see what's going on and not feel bad about, I wonder how they're doing. So
right.
I think that's a really good idea. Happy medium.
Yeah. And of course, that requires resources and stuff. So you have to get to the point where you're bringing in enough income to make that feasible.
Right.
So that's what I was doing. But then when my baby became a toddler, so then I had
your youngest.
The youngest became a toddler, and the oldest was in school. Preschool. Mm-hmm. That's when I had to change things up and get an office space outside of the house because it wasn't working anymore. It was like she would hear me in the office and she'd come pounding on the door and be like, "Mommy,
coloring, let's color, Mama."
So I went through a brief period of having an office outside of the house, but now I'm back in my house, which I love.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
thank you.
I don't know if that's
curious.
helpful. But
it is.
So, Monica, I want you to think about a time in your life when you weren't putting yourself first. Because on the Well Woman Show, we are always talking about taking care of ourselves. And, I usually talk to people who are at the point where they have figured some of that out. Okay. But I really want you to kind of think back to maybe when you weren't doing what you now know you probably need to do in order to be a well woman.
I like what Maya Angelou says. She used to say that when you know better, you do better. And I do know a lot more than when I first had my son because it's been a few years. So let's see. Would it count? Would it be okay if I discuss something before kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, because that popped in my head immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be when I was about 19 years old, fresh out of high school. I'd gained like 40 pounds within 3 months. And that might be why Moms Wear Heels is very fitness centric. I just kind of lost my motivation for creating a vision. So I'm big with my fitness coaching. We always incorporate life coaching as well in there because I know you cannot tackle your fitness stuff if there's bigger issues lingering because it's just really hard to do. So back then I just wish I would have just told myself like, it's okay to do what you need to do to be happy and healthy. Like it's okay. I just felt like I didn't have anyone there who was bold enough, I guess. I know I had people around me who loved me, but I don't think that they were bold enough to tell me what I needed to hear. And I had to do that. I had to do that for myself, which was really hard being very immature and, just lacking that direction at 18 years old. Yeah. But I just know I felt uncomfortable just eating fast food every day. And it just was, you don't feel good when you're feeding your body, unhealthy things. So
you kind of had a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Okay, and Monica, when did you know that you needed to become a well woman, and what was your aha moment?
My aha moment was when I was staying with my best friend fresh out of high school and was 40 pounds overweight and just had no vision for my life. I would say that's when it really hit me that I needed to make a change. And it all started with first making the decision. So I always tell my clients, you got to first make the decision. If you want to get healthier, decide. And from there, I wanted a fresh start. So I moved here to New Mexico from Chicago and just said, I'm going to get healthier, like no more excuses. I think I was waiting subconsciously for it to be easy. And I just realized that was never going to happen. It was always going to be, difficult to make those big changes. So I left and I started fresh out here, got enrolled in college, put myself on a healthier regimen, became active, and then everything started to fall in order, piece by piece.
So going to college was part of that whole
process? Because I needed some structure. I needed to find something. Hi, it's my son here. I needed to find something to focus on that was going to feed my creativity. I think a part of me for being a well woman is feeding my creative side. If I'm not doing that, I'm dangerous to be around because I have so much creative energy. And I think that's what's so beautiful about being women is that we have this potential inside of us, not only to give birth, but to give birth to all these numerous projects that are always calling to us in our own unique ways. So for me, being creative is huge, and school gave me more of a foundation to get organized with what I wanted to do. Yeah.
So Monica, you run Moms Wear Heels. You have a big following on Instagram. How many followers do you have?
I'm at 22,000 right now.
Yeah, so that's pretty significant. Is that your main platform, or do you do Facebook and Twitter too?
It's my favorite platform, and I think that whatever you enjoy, you're going to excel at. So I think that that's why that's the fastest growing social media platform I have, because I'm very visual. I have like 10 vision boards at home. I love them. So I'm big on manifestation and all that. So Instagram for me is a way for me to stay accountable with everything, with my following. So if I tell them I'm on this new diet plan and I'm trying to gain 10 pounds of lean muscle mass, if I don't do that within a few months, they're going to start looking at me funny. So that's why I love it. It's just visible accountability and visible inspiration for those who are following me. So yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so you are one of these women that sort of appears to have it all, right? Like you're beautiful. You have 2 gorgeous children.
I just got outside.
You have your business with this following. What are some of the challenges that come with that? Like, what's your greatest challenge right now?
The challenge is what you just said a few minutes ago, which is one ball is up and this ball is doing great, and then the other one is about to drop on the floor, and you have to pick out your foot real quick so it can, try to catch that. So I think the hardest part is being okay with saying I don't have it all, and being okay with that. I don't, because I do think it's possible to have it, but I think we all have to become very conscious on what it all, air quotes, what it all means to us. So having it all for me doesn't mean I have it all simultaneously. It means that I'm consciously striving for a vision, and I'm getting closer to that vision every day. And that's why I'm big on vision boards, because I've noticed that my husband and I, we've done a couples vision board before we even had kids, and a lot of it has come into fruition. So I'm big on believing in the power that we have as individuals here on this earth. And that's why I'm so conscious about it, because I know I want to create beautiful things for my family, and I don't want to just be a co-creator on accident, I guess. So, sorry, totally spaced on your question. But yeah, I think it's important for every woman to define what having it all means for her personally, because it shouldn't be what society is telling you should want. Not every woman wants to have more kids. Not every woman wants to, some women want to adopt. Some women want to focus on their career. And I think we're kind of in an epidemic where we're all searching externally for approval for our desires. And I think it's time that we stop that.
Yeah, and I'm big on vision boards and visioning too. So what would you say to people about implementing your vision board? Like once you have it, and
that's a good question.
Wall,
that's such a good question.
What do you do then?
I think the biggest thing is to, like you said, not just make the vision board and then stick it in the closet and then go about your life. I think make the vision board, make sure that it excites you, because if you're looking at it and you don't feel something internally, there's an issue. You're not being as authentic as you could be in putting it together, I think. So making sure, first of all, that it's inspiring to you. And then I think the second part would be put it somewhere that you can see, that's personal. I don't recommend having it in your kitchen where your guests can just stroll in and see it. Mine is right in front of my husband and our bed, and I can see it every time I wake up and every time I go to bed, every time I walk past to change the baby's diaper. It's good to have a constant reminder, subconsciously and consciously, of what you want,
I love that visual of doing the baby's diaper, and then seeing your vision board and being reminded, there is a bigger purpose here.
There is a bigger purpose to this smelly diaper right now. And then what else? I would say I like what Jim Carrey says. He says he pretty much manifested his first $10 million check while he was still poor, like sleeping in his car before he got cast his first big movie. And he said, you can't just visualize and then go eat a sandwich. So you have to visualize and then put action behind it. So I think the biggest thing is for us women to get over the fear of not needing to shrink anymore. And you said that on the Morning Brew, and I was like, I like her. You said something about, as women, a lot of us say, oh, I'm sorry, but can I always being apologetic for having big dreams, for example. So I say being fearless in the pursuit of what you want and being able to put the action behind it and not just wishful think. Mm-hmm. Let's not just be wishfully thinking. Let's actually be courageous enough to put action behind what we want. Yeah.
Well, this brings us into our segment called Superpowers for Success.
Cool.
And
I like that sound.
It's a nice segue because we've been talking about it a little bit, but I really want you to talk about what does success in life mean to you?
Success for me, since I'm a huge creative person, it means having the freedom during my day to create what I want to create. Whether it's create a workout video and edit that myself, or meet you for an interview, or take my kids to the park. Whatever my soul is beckoning me to do for the day, I want to have the freedom to be able to do that. So, go ahead.
And actually, since we've been talking about balance and work and kids, how do you switch from being Monica, Moms Wear Heels, doing an interview or being on TV, to all of a sudden, taking your kids to the park and like really being present in that moment?
You ask really good questions. You've been doing this a while. I would say that I haven't really thought about it, but it's interesting. Even coming off the morning brew today, and then I literally grabbed my daughter as soon as I was off camera, and I'm like, okay, I got to breastfeed now. It's really interesting, and I think that's what makes us super women as moms, because we can actually do that. I think it's incredibly challenging, but I also think that we're incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a chameleon, but we're just very adaptable as women. And I think that something just kicks in when you're around your kids. I just become mama bear. It's like whatever they need, that's what I need to do. And luckily I have my husband. He's like my partner in life, and he's always helping me as much as he can, and that makes it a lot easier until I can get a nanny. So I would say, it's just I don't really have a choice, and that's what helps me just focus when I need to. Yeah.
And Monica, when did you know you were really good at what you do?
Do I think I'm really good at what I do? I do a lot, and to be honest, I try to not scatter my energy, which is tricky as a mom who wears heels because I'm a co-owner of a restaurant, so I'm helping my husband with that behind the scenes. I also have a blog, I also have a YouTube, I have the Morning Brew, and I have my beautiful babies who I want to spend time with. Not to mention, I'm coaching over 70 women to get fit. So it's a lot. And I honestly think that if you love what you do, if you love it, then you'll create the energy for it. And you might not need to sleep as much as Joanne might need to sleep, So I think you just create the energy. I'm sorry.
But when did you
I'm spacing on it, your question.
It's fine. When did you have that moment of where you quietly inside your body knew this is what I'm good at?
I would think after I had my son, I became more courageous. I wouldn't say fearless because I still have fear in me. But I started to put myself out there more and more, whether it's online, on YouTube, on social media, on Instagram. And I was starting to think, okay, I'm on to something, when I would get those messages, those emails, those direct messages, just so many women saying thank you for the inspiration, saying you inspired me to do this. And those messages, honestly, that's what keeps me going when I just want to stay in bed and eat Oreos all day. Those keep me going. Because I think it's interesting, like I'm not motivated every day. And I think a lot of people have a misconception that as women, who are doing what we do, that we're on all the time. And it's like, no, I want a vacation right now. But, so those messages, I think, help me click that I was onto something.
Okay, and Monica, describe one personal habit that contributes to your well-being.
Oh, definitely fitness. Fitness for me is huge, and something really simple is I drink a gallon of water a day. Super easy. Anyone can do it. It's free. That, and then my short little 10-minute workouts. they give me energy.
So how many of these 10-minute workouts do you do a day?
I like to be active every day. So it could be 10 minutes, just 7 days a week, you know? But I don't go to the gym. I don't do anything like that. I just try to keep it very simple and just work out at home with my kids.
For 10 minutes a day?
Yeah.
Well, it
really short.
Seems like anybody could do that.
Yes.
Describe one of these 10-minute workouts. Let's see if we can give listeners some action items.
I actually have my full workout videos if they want to do that on youtube.com/Monica Bencomo. It's on the Moms Wear Heels playlist.
Okay,
so
and we'll
full
link
length
to
work.
that. We'll link to it in the show notes.
But my favorites would definitely be squats, push-ups, bicep curls, and shoulder press, because you just work every part of your body with those simple 4 moves.
And do you need to get some weights to do this?
If you're past beginner, definitely invest in some. I'd say start off with like 5s. And then if you're more advanced, I say you can move up to 10s. But if you don't have any type of weights, I'd say push-ups, burpees, and squats. Yeah.
Okay. And what superpower did you discover you had only to realize it was there all the time?
That's a really interesting question. I would say my virtue of discipline. I think in fitness and in business, you really have to be able to be disciplined to create what you want to create and to go after what you want to go after. And I think going back to the 18-year-old version of myself who lacked the inspiration or the discipline, I would tell her, you can do whatever you want to do if, number 1, you believe in yourself, and number 2, you make yourself become disciplined enough to go after it. So I'm like, I had the ability to do this when I was 18, but I needed to have my first child to really get into being this disciplined. It's interesting. But that's my journey.
Yeah, I feel like the busier we are, the more efficient we are. Like, as soon as I had kids, I became so much more productive and efficient with my time.
Exactly. I can't even really sit down and watch TV anymore. I'm like, both kids are sleeping. I could be answering emails, or doing anything that, it's gonna.
I totally agree. I actually don't watch TV.
Yeah.
We like to watch movies, but. So Monica, what do you do when you get knocked down? We all have these things that happen to us, right? It's not just you failing all the time. How do you come back from something that knocks you down?
I try to talk to myself like I'm my own best friend. I sound crazy when I'm at home. I literally will talk to myself, but I don't care. Because I think that for me personally, I'm way too hard on myself. I'm like, you could have done that better. And I think us as women, us as mothers, we have to become kind to ourselves. So for me, what I do is I'll let myself rest if I need to. I'll make myself take, a couple of days off where I unplug from social media. That's a huge one for me. I stop comparing myself to anybody else on social media because there's another fit mom with a million followers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, am I really going to get into that? Nah. So I'll unplug, and I'll also do things that feed my soul. I'll go to the park and I'll walk around barefoot on the grass with my kids because that's what helps me feel grounded and reconnected. And I think that's usually not all I need, but that's usually what I need is just a reminder of what really matters, what I'm really going to care about when I'm on my rocking chair when I'm 90. Is it going to be getting more followers, or is it going to be enjoying each moment to moment?
Yeah.
So,
okay, and then what are you reading right now? Like, what's on your nightstand?
I'm reading like 5 different books right now. One is Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. The other one is A Course in Miracles. And those are like the main 2. And then I also listen to audiobooks. I'm checking out The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, which has been helping my husband and I because we both are working way too much. So we're trying to find a way to get more done with being away from our kids less. So. And
having a restaurant, that's got to be hard because it's like a really big full-time job to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
Unless you have a good manager and staff.
My husband does it all. I used to run the front while he ran the back, and now he's doing both by himself so I can stay at home with the kids. So my main way of helping him is just with paperwork and with social media, but he's doing all of it here. But luckily, we've attracted a pretty good staff to where they don't need micromanaging, which is really cool. So, but it's still a lot for him. He's like 70 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay. And Monica, do you identify as a feminist?
I hate to say this, but I don't like labels. So, yes, but I don't label myself that. Because do I believe that we all should be treated equally? Of course, but I also understand the type of world that we live in. And I get it, and I don't want to put my energy towards what I oppose as much as I want to pour my energy into what I love and what I really want to stand for. So yeah, I think as women, we rock. Like, I think we make the world go round, but I also just want to focus on giving my passions to the world and all that good energy.
Yeah. Okay, last question. What advice would you give, and you alluded to this earlier, but what advice would you give your younger self?
Can you give me an age?
Yeah, like
that way I'll have an image in my head.
Your 18-year-old self.
Okay. I would tell her, this is interesting, I would tell her that it's okay to shine. I dimmed my light for so long that it literally made me sick. It literally made, I was eating all my emotions because I just kept stuffing and stuffing. For me personally, I was always told, go sit down. You're performing again. Like I was a dancer and a singer and won spelling bee. So to me, I always would hear like, you're so full of yourself. Go sit down. So I internalized that. And by the time I graduated from high school, internalized it so much that I just dimmed myself. And don't ever do that. No one do that because it literally it just creates toxicity in your body. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, it's okay to shine. Like, go shine your light because the world needs it, and the world will be a better place if you are true to yourself.
And you're doing that now.
Yeah, I feel like I am. So it's a whole new set of challenges now to where like you can try to find balance in that. But yeah.
Well, Monica, thank you so much for being on the show
today. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
That's it for our show today. I've been speaking with Monica Bencomo, mom of two, founder of lifestyle brand and blog Moms Wear Heels, author of 7 Habits of a Healthy Happy Mom, and co-owner of Pasión Latin Fusion Restaurant. I spoke with Monica about her physical and emotional transformation, becoming a mother and starting her business, developing a social media following, and maintaining her independence while being a mother. You can get Monica's free tips to help you succeed at wellwomanlife.com/021show. Our monthly live event, Well Woman Drinks, brings women together to share our successes and challenges as women leaders, moms, aunts, sisters, and all of the other hats we wear. If you'd like to attend a Well Woman Drinks near you, or if there isn't one in your city yet and you'd like to start one, email me at info@wellwomanlife.com. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment and subscribe in iTunes and leave a review. This helps raise visibility of the show, which is super helpful when it comes to producing it every week for you. You can also continue the conversation in the Well Woman Life community group at facebook.com/groups/Well Woman Life community. For feedback, comments, or just to let me know you were listening today, find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Well Woman Life. I'm Giovanna Rossi for The Well Woman Show. Until next time, have a super powerful week.